Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everybody, I hope that you're doing well. Today we're going to work on Surah Al Ghashiya, which is Surah 88 of Al Quran Al Kareem. It is made of 26 verses, 26 ayat. It was revealed during the Meccan period. Surah Al Ghashiya is one of the first surah revealed, and it reflects the period when the Prophet Muhammad had started to preach his message, but unfortunately the people of Mecca ignored him and did not give any importance to his words. The Arabic word al-ghashiya refers to something that completely covers or envelopes. Al-ghashiya is therefore translated to the enveloping or the overwhelming event. The overwhelming or enveloping event is one of the names also given to the Day of Judgment, because that day envelopes and surrounds everyone and all things with its terrible events. So this overwhelming event will cover the world, the whole earth, as written in most of the surah, which are at the end of Al-Quran Al-Kareem. The two main subjects mentioned at the end of Al-Quran Al-Kareem are the oneness of God, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the hereafter. The title Al-Ghashiya, the overwhelming event or the enveloping, comes from the first ayah. Surah Al Ghashiya describes the difference between the faces of the believers and the disbelievers on the day of the overwhelming event, the Judgment Day. It is a warning to the disbelievers, and Surah Al Ghashiya is also an encouragement for the Prophet Muhammad. Al Ghashiya makes a comparison between believers and disbelievers and their place either in paradise or in hell. Surah Al Ghashiya describes in detail the day of resurrection, the phenomena that will occur there. The terror in one hand, it will cause in some the tormenting fate that will be reserved for them, and that flourishing of believers on the other. Surah Al Ghashiya begins with a description of the pains of the hell and the delights of paradise. Then it speaks of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in Surah Al Ghashiya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks human beings to look at the marvels of His creation, such as the amazing creation of the camel, the sky, the mountains, and the earth. The secrets and wonders of these creatures guide human beings to their Creator. Focusing on the power and the greatness of the Creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Surah Al Ghashiya exposes the proofs of the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord of the world, of His invincible power, and of His marvelous creation, the enduring camel, the grandiose sky, the high mountains, the vast and fertile land. All of these creations testify to the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His uniqueness, His majesty, His greatness, and His unlimited power. Surah Al Ghashiya highlights the domination of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over the whole universe and the return of man to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His Creator. Surah Al Ghashiya reminds people that on the day of resurrection, they will be divided into two groups: those who will enter consuming fire and find no dignity in the way that they will be greeted, and those who will be greeted with immense joy and gain divine blessing. In addition, Surah Al Ghashiya illustrates to us the main mission of Sayyidina Muhammad, our Prophet, which is to remind men to follow the path of Islam and to surrender to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Surah Al Ghashiya talks about the prophecy and the Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad. Surah Al Ghashiya also explains that the Nabi Sayyidina Muhammad has no authority over any human being, compelling them to believe, and that whoever turns away and deviates from the faith after this reminder, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish them and make them suffer the greatest torment on the judgment day. At the end of the journey, we will inevitably all return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On that day, no one will escape the judgment. So to sum up, the first 7 ayat of Surah Al Ghashiya warn the disbelievers. This warning is followed by a description of the pleasures believers will experience in paradise. Next, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to consider His creations. And finally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reassures our Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam by telling him he is not responsible for those who refuse to listen and who refuse to heed his message. Now, I'm going to translate Surah Al Ghashiya ayah by ayah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the specially merciful. هل أتاك حديث الغاشية? Has the news of Al Ghashiya come to you? وجوه يومئذ خاشعة. On the day of permission, there are faces that are disgraced. عاملة ناصبة. Doing tiring things. تصلى نارا حامية. They will be flung into a hot blazing fire. تسقى من عين آنية. They will be made to drink from a boiling spring. ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع. Their food is nothing but bitter, stinking, thorny tree. لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع. Neither nourishing nor filling against hunger. From Ayah 1 to Ayah 7, it is a reminder and a description of the events that will take place on the Judgment Day, as well as the retributions and punishments that awaits the disbelievers. On that day, there will be faces humbled, overwhelmed, exhausted. These are the faces of those who will imagine they have worked hard on earth, but who do not see the fruit of their labor that day, because their actions were not accompanied by good faith, and they were not done for the satisfaction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So all their efforts no longer have any value. Once they enter hell, thirsty and exhausted, they only receive boiling water to drink. Their food consists of thorny and bitter fruits, which do not satisfy their hunger. It is a terrible affliction, incomprehensible except to those who will experience it. وُجُوهٌ يَوْمَئِذٍ نَاعِمَةٌ. On the day of permission, there are beautiful and bright faces. لِسَعْيِهَا رَاضِيَةٌ. Well pleased with their work in the world. فِي جَنَّةٍ عَالِيَةٍ. They will be in a lofty heaven. لَا تَسْمَعُ فِيهَا لَاغِيَةً. Wherein you shall not hear vain talk. فِيهَا عَيْنٌ جَارِيَةٌ. Therein is a constantly running spring. فِيهَا سُرُورٌ مَرْفُوعَةٌ. Therein are thrones raised high. وَأَكْوَابٌ مَوْضُوعَةٌ. And goblets set before them. وَنَمَارِقٌ مَصْفُوفَةٌ. And cushions set in rows. وَزَرَابِيٌّ مَبْتُوتَةٌ. And embellished valuable carpets that are spread out. From Ayah 8 to Ayah 16, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the gardens of paradise. Other faces will shine on that day. These are the people who will find the fruit of their efforts. They will be admitted into the gardens of paradise. They will be happy, reassured, and will be satisfied both spiritually and physically. In this garden, they will hear no idle talk. They will be gushing spring, and they will be leaning on raised couches. They will have cups at hand, cushions arranged in rows, and rugs spread out. In paradise, all the senses will be satisfied. Thirst will be quenched there. This retribution is incomparable except to those who will profit from it. These descriptions help us imagine the ultimate reward for those who strive to achieve success in the hereafter. أَفَلَا يَنْظُرُونَ إِلَى الْإِبِلِ كَيْفَ خُلِقَتْ. Do they still not look at the camel, how it had been created? وَإِلَى السَّمَاءِ كَيْفَ رُفِعَتْ. And the sky, how it had been raised. وَإِلَى الْجِبَالِ كَيْفَ نُصِبَتْ. And the mountains, how they had been placed vertically. وَإِلَى الْأَرْضِ كَيْفَ سُطِحَتْ. And the earth, how it had been surfaced. From ayah 17 to ayah 20, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the wonders of nature and His creations. After the descriptions of the afterlife, Surah Al Ghashiya talks about God's creations, His perfect planning, His power. Do they not consider camels? How were they created? And the sky, how high is it? And the mountains, how are they firmly fixed on earth? And the earth, how it was built? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to meditate on all this. Consider if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can create all these wonders, isn't it He also able to create the hereafter? فَذَكِّرْ إِنَّمَا أَنْتَ مُذَكِّرْ. So do remind, for you are only a reminder. لَسْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمُسَيْطِرْ. You're not a compeller over them. إِلَّا مَنْ تَوَلَّى وَكَفَرَ. However, whoever turns his back and denies, فَيُعَذِّبُهُ اللَّهُ الْعَذَابَ الْأَكْبَرَ. Then Allah torments him with the greatest torment. إِنَّا إِلَيْنَا إِيَابَهُمْ. Surely to us is their return. ثُمَّ إِنَّا عَلَيْنَا حِسَابَهُمْ. Then surely upon us is their retribution. From ayah 21 to ayah 26, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks our Prophet Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to warn people. He is only responsible to warn and to guide and to teach, but he is not responsible for their actions. He cannot control people. He is there to remind them of the consequences of their actions and not to force them to do anything. There is hardly any compulsion in religion. Pay attention to the warnings or not, believe or not. These are your choice as a human being. They are your responsibility as each individual. We are responsible for our actions. Those who turn away and refuse to believe will suffer the consequences. Finally, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala concludes Surah Al Ghashiya by saying, it is to us, in truth, that they will return. Then it will be up to us to hold them accountable. Wallahu alam. I hope that this small translation and explanation of Surah Al Ghashiya was helpful. I wish you the best. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bye-bye.